You've been conditioned to believe that becoming unstoppable requires force, relentless action, and pushing harder than everyone else. But here's what shifts everything. The ancient teachings hidden within metaphysics reveal a completely different truth. One where your inner frequency determines your outer reality. One where alignment dissolves resistance. One where you become unstoppable not by doing more, but by becoming more. This isn't philosophy you study. This is consciousness science you embody. Inside the hidden wisdom of metaphysics lies knowledge that's been encoded across centuries. Knowledge that tells you frequency operates beyond force, that harmony with universal laws creates what struggle never could. As you step into this understanding, you'll discover how the invisible architecture of existence responds to your every internal state. This isn't about manipulating reality. It's about mastering the relationship between your consciousness and the field that shapes all form. Let's begin where true power begins, in the unseen. From depths that predate memory, an eternal truth rises. Everything you perceive in physical form is woven through your invisible relationship with infinite intelligence, thought, emotion, belief. These three forces form the sacred foundation, the silent architects that have constructed civilizations and personal destinies throughout time. Real mastery doesn't emerge from attempting to control these forces. It unfolds through harmonizing with them. Consider the river. It doesn't force its path. It surrenders to natural flow, yet carves through mountains. Your power works the same way. It reveals itself through alignment. When you awaken to this knowing, when you understand that frequency transcends brute force, that silence holds more power than noise, that inner clarity unlocks every closed door, you step into the stream of creation itself. Right now, you're standing before something profound. Metaphysics is no longer a concept to study. It becomes a living science of consciousness you inhabit. Each principle you encounter here functions as a key, turning ancient mechanisms within your awareness, revealing capacities you've always possessed but forgot you held. These teachings aren't new discoveries. They're remembrances, echoes of wisdom your soul has carried since the beginning. The journey moves through three sacred phases: awakening, crafting, mastery. In awakening, you rediscover your unity with the infinite intelligence moving through all existence. In crafting, you learn to shape reality like a sculptor shapes clay, through clarity, focused intention, and conscious direction. And in mastery, you dissolve the separation between creator and creation until your consciousness becomes law itself. This transcends attraction principles. This is union with the universal field that eternally responds yes to whatever vibration you broadcast. As you remember your true nature, separation fades, and you witness the ancient truth directly. You are simultaneously the source, the seeker, and everything being sought. Before we go deeper, take a moment and comment below with this phrase: I am ready to remember. Say it as a declaration to the field itself. This isn't casual engagement. This is your signal that you're choosing conscious participation in what unfolds from here. Part 1. The Awakening Field. Deep in a village surrounded by ancient hills, there lived a woman named Clara, who carried water from the well each dawn. Her steps moved with certainty, but her heart carried the weight of constant striving day after day. She pushed against life, believing force would deliver what she desired. One morning, as the light pierced through mist, Clara stopped. The water in her vessel captured a beam of sunlight, and in that single moment, she witnessed something that changed everything. The surface lay completely still, reflecting the sky with perfect clarity. Understanding flooded through her. The water revealed truth not through motion, but through stillness. Your consciousness operates as this exact mirror. Every circumstance, every experience, every encounter, they reflect patterns living in your internal world. This isn't metaphor. This is metaphysics. The science of causation, moving from the unseen realm into the seen. When you grasp that your state of being precedes all action, struggle dissolves completely. Your thoughts, when charged with emotion, imprint themselves onto universal energy. This energy surrounds everything, penetrates everything, responds to everything. It's intelligent, responsive, and it arranges circumstances to match your internal blueprint with precision. Consider someone named Clyde, a merchant who spent years forcing doors open through willpower alone. His days overflowed with detailed plans and endless worry, yet transformation arrived the moment he released his grip on outcomes. One evening, watching sunset colors paint across the sky, understanding dawned within him. The sun doesn't strain to set. Flowers don't force their blooming. Nature moves through allowing, not forcing. In that moment, Clyde's entire being shifted from friction to flow. Within days, opportunities that had remained stubbornly closed began opening effortlessly. Clients who seemed unreachable started seeking him out. Nothing in his external actions had changed. Only his internal state transformed. And reality mirrored that transformation perfectly. Your journey through existence follows this same principle. The universe responds not to your actions first. It responds to your state of being. When your inner world aligns with what you're calling forward, outer circumstances naturally conform to match that resonance. This is the invisible design of life, and it operates whether you're conscious of it or not. Here's your practice for tonight. Find a quiet space and settle into complete stillness. Place your attention behind your sternum where a soft light begins to glow. For 8 conscious breaths, watch this light pulse outward, carrying the essence of your desired experience into the field. Let this radiance feel complete, sufficient, whole. Rest in the knowing that this inner harmony is the only blueprint the universe needs. Reality will mirror what you become. In a quiet mountain village, a woman named Nora spent her days observing the world through her window, convinced that external events controlled her inner state. When storm clouds gathered, darkness filled her mood. When neighbors argued, anxiety crept in. When markets fell, fear gripped her chest. Like so many others, she lived as though life's circumstances held the power to shape her experience from the outside, and yet within the depths of this reactive existence, a sacred truth waited to emerge. The universe operates as an enormous mirror, reflecting back the vibrations you transmit. Your attention functions like a master artist, painting reality with the colors of your consciousness. What appears as circumstance is actually echo. Your thoughts and feelings made visible. This mirror principle reveals itself through the story of Douglas, a merchant whose days once flooded with worry. Each morning he woke anticipating problems, scanning his world for threats, and faithfully, the universe provided evidence supporting his fears. Delayed shipments, difficult customers, unexpected expenses. His reality confirmed his inner state perfectly. Yet in one transformative moment, Douglas discovered the power of appreciation. Rather than fixating on what might go wrong, he began each day in gratitude. He noticed the sunrise. He thanked his suppliers. He celebrated small victories. As though orchestrated by invisible hands, His reality shifted, new opportunities appeared. Kind-hearted customers sought him out. Resources arrived at precisely the right time. The mirror that once reflected anxiety now shimmered with abundance. This transformation illuminates deeper mechanics of creation. Every experience entering your field contains a message about your inner state. What appears as misfortune is actually an invitation to examine your vibration. Each upset points to a belief asking for transformation. The outer world faithfully mirrors your inner landscape, making visible what was hidden within. The power in this understanding doesn't lie in controlling circumstances. It lies in recognizing your role as the source of your experience. As you shift from reaction to conscious creation, the mirror responds accordingly. Your world stops being a series of random events to weather and becomes a reflection to master through awareness. Here's the mirror practice. As twilight approaches, stand before a mirror in a quiet space. Meet your own gaze with gentle acceptance. Breathe deeply and whisper these words: "The world shows me what I believe." Allow yourself to feel the profound responsibility and power in this truth. Watch as something shifts within, transforming your reflection into a trusted guide. In this sacred communion between self and mirror, discover how acceptance turns every reflection into an ally on your path of conscious creation. In an ancient marketplace, a weaver named Tilda crafted the most exquisite tapestries anyone had ever seen. Her hands moved with complete certainty as she wove intricate patterns, yet her heart trembled with doubt. Though her mind painted vivid pictures of success, her emotions whispered stories of lack. And so her beautiful creations remained largely unsold, like dreams fading in morning light. The wisdom revealed here touches the very foundation of creation itself. Your feelings amplify your thoughts into the language the universe understands when your emotions align with your intentions. You broadcast on a frequency the quantum field cannot help but receive. Yet when doubt clouds your desires, it creates interference, static disrupting a pristine melody. This truth becomes clear through the story of Milton, a musician who struggled to share his art. Though his mind conceived grand visions of performing in magnificent halls, his heart harbored fear each time opportunity knocked. His emotional discord muted the signal of his desires completely. Then came the turning point. Milton discovered that cultivating joy wasn't about denying reality. It was about tuning his inner instrument to a higher frequency. He began playing music simply for the love of it, allowing happiness to flow through him without attachment to outcome. As his emotional tone stabilized in this higher vibration, doors began opening. Opportunities appeared in perfect rhythm with his newfound emotional harmony. Here's what this reveals. Emotion acts as the steering mechanism of manifestation. Your feelings guide the energy of your thoughts, determining their resonance in the field of all possibility. When you align your emotional state with your desires, you create a clear channel for manifestation to move through. Think of it this way. Your thoughts are seeds, but your emotions are the fertile soil in which they grow. The most brilliant vision, when planted in soil of doubt, cannot flourish, yet even a simple intention, nourished by genuine joy, will blossom beyond expectation. The universe responds not to the words of your thoughts. It responds to the feeling tone of your being. This is why authentic emotion is crucial. It's the power that amplifies your signal to the cosmos. When you maintain a consistent emotional frequency aligned with your desires, you become a clear broadcaster of creation itself. Here's the morning resonance practice. Each morning before words cross your lips, settle into silence. Allow gratitude to bloom naturally in your chest, not forced, invited. Feel it expand until it creates a gentle humming sensation in your being. This vibration, though invisible to the eye, speaks volumes to the listening universe. This is your purest broadcast, your clearest signal to the field of all possibility. In the heart of a bustling town, there was a woman named Delea who owned a modest bookshop. Each morning she would open her doors, expecting few customers, anticipating slow sales, assuming the day would bring disappointment. Like a faithful shadow, these expectations materialized without fail. The shop remained quiet, the ledger thin. The universe operates through an ancient and unwavering principle. Your sustained assumptions crystallize into physical reality. This process occurs whether you consciously direct it or not. Every assumption you hold acts as a mold into which universal energy flows, taking the shape of your expectations with perfect fidelity. But here's what no one tells you about assumptions. They're not just thoughts, they're instructions to the field. Delea's transformation began when she discovered this truth. Instead of habitually assuming scarcity, she deliberately entertained thoughts of success. She would walk through her shop imagining shelves that needed constant restocking, hearing the cheerful ring of the cash register. Feeling the warmth of satisfied customers, she maintained this new assumption with the same consistency she had once given to doubt. Gradually, her reality began to shift, first subtly, then dramatically. New customers appeared. Sales increased. Her once quiet shop hummed with activity. The universe had no choice but to conform to her persistent assumption. This mirrors the experience of Percy, a merchant facing financial crisis. Rather than succumbing to panic, he made a bold choice. He assumed ease and resolution, even as circumstances suggested otherwise. He walked, talked, conducted business as though success was assured. Within weeks, unexpected opportunities emerged. Debts were settled. What had seemed insurmountable dissolved naturally. Your assumptions are faith in seed form. Like any seed, they require nurturing until physical evidence appears. This nurturing comes through your sustained attention and emotional conviction. The physical world has no choice but to reshape itself around your persistent assumptions. This is the law by which reality operates. Here's what shifts everything. You've been taught to wait for evidence before believing. This reverses the creative process entirely. Circumstance does not create your assumptions create your circumstances. Every condition in your life right now reflects assumptions you have previously entertained and accepted as truth. The ancient night practice works like this. As you prepare for sleep each night, create a sacred moment of assumption. Close your eyes and fully inhabit your chosen outcome as though it is already accomplished. Feel the satisfaction of completion, the peace of attainment. Let your breath flow as one who knows their good is secured. Your last thoughts before sleep are especially powerful. They work through the night to rearrange the patterns of your tomorrow. Do not ask or plead, simply rest in the knowing that what you desire already exists. Let this feeling of completion, not request, be your companion into dreams. The physical world has no choice but to reshape itself around your persistent assumptions. This is the law by which creation flows. What you assume with unwavering conviction must manifest not through force, but through the natural orchestration of universal forces. The story of Bee teaches this truth with perfect clarity. She was a talented artist who believed success required constant striving. Each day she pushed herself harder, scheduled more exhibitions, worked tirelessly. Yet the more she forced her path, the more resistance she encountered. Galleries remained uninterested, her work went unsold. Exhaustion became her constant companion until one day she could push no further. In that moment of surrender, profound wisdom emerged. The universe operates not through force, but through allowing. Success flows not to those who grasp, but to those who open themselves to receive. This is not passive waiting. This is intelligent permission. An acknowledgement that the cosmic order possesses wisdom far beyond our limited perspective. Consider the nature of a flower. It doesn't strain to bloom. It simply allows the process to unfold according to divine timing. This is the essence of allowing a deep trust in the natural unfolding of life's possibilities. Someone named Lenny exemplifies this principle perfectly. As a businessman, he had always imposed strict timelines on his projects, forcing outcomes, fighting against natural rhythms. Each forced deadline brought complications and setbacks. Then he discovered the power of divine timing. Instead of pushing against the current, he learned to float with it. He released his rigid expectations and trusted in perfect unfolding. The results were remarkable. Opportunities appeared at precisely the right moment. Partners emerged when needed. Resources flowed effortlessly. By releasing his grip on how and when things should happen, he allowed life to orchestrate events in ways far more elegant than his mind could have planned. Here's the key understanding. Release activates reception. When you cease forcing outcomes and instead assume their natural unfolding, you align with the universe's inherent abundance. Your role is not to make things happen. Your role is to allow them to happen through you. This ancient wisdom reminds us that assumption works most powerfully when coupled with surrender. Assume the fulfillment of your desires, then release the need to control their manifestation. Trust that what is meant for you cannot miss you, and what misses you was not meant for you. This practice will help anchor this truth in your experience. Find a quiet moment and sit by an open window. Feel the gentle caress of air against your face. Take 3 deep breaths and whisper softly, "I receive what's ready to arrive." Let the natural flow of air remind you that nothing essential needs chasing. What is yours will come to you with the same effortless grace as your next breath. Simply remain open, trusting, and ready to receive. If what you're discovering here is touching something in you, if it's resonating with a knowing you've always carried but couldn't quite name, then I invite you to subscribe not just to this channel, but to this frequency, to this space where consciousness and reality meet, to this movement of remembering who you truly are. In the heart of an ancient marketplace, a woman named Hattie spent her days examining precious stones. Each gem reflected her growing understanding of life's deeper mysteries day after day. She noticed how customers who believed they would find the perfect stone invariably discovered exactly what they sought, while those who doubted left empty-handed. Through this simple observation, a profound truth emerged. Reality held no preference or judgment. It merely echoed back the beliefs held within. The universe operates as an infinite mirror, reflecting with perfect precision the convictions we hold dear. This mirror shows neither favoritism nor spite. It simply reveals what exists in the chamber of your thoughts. Your beliefs serve as the architect's blueprints, drawing forth circumstances that match their exact specifications. When you understand this principle, you grasp the fundamental truth that has guided masters throughout ages. Belief is not merely a passive state of mind. It's an active force that shapes the very fabric of existence. Each thought you hold with conviction becomes a seed, taking root in the fertile soil of universal consciousness. Consider how someone named Dean, a humble craftsman, transformed his workshop from a place of scarcity to abundance. For years, he carried doubt like a heavy toolbox, seeing only limitations and obstacles. Yet upon learning these ancient principles, he made a decisive shift. Instead of entertaining thoughts of lack, he began nurturing an unshakable certainty in his success. As Dean adjusted his inner dialogue, extraordinary changes manifested. A chance encounter led to an unexpected commission. A former client recommended his work to an influential collector. Solutions appeared precisely when needed. Resources aligned as if orchestrated by an unseen hand. These were not mere coincidences. They were the natural outcome of his transformed beliefs. The law demonstrates itself with mathematical precision. What you believe with unwavering conviction must manifest in physical form. This is not wishful thinking. This is the very mechanism by which reality operates. Your beliefs act as filters through which the infinite possibilities of the universe flow, crystallizing into the experiences you encounter. To apply this wisdom in your daily life, begin with this timeless practice. When uncertainty clouds your path or doubt whispers in your ear, place your hand gently upon your heart. Feel its steady rhythm beneath your palm and speak these words with quiet authority. I believe more in possibility than in fear. Let this declaration serve as your compass, guiding you forward with unwavering faith in the abundant nature of the universe. This simple yet powerful ritual aligns your energy with the creative forces that shape existence itself. As you practice this, watch how your reality begins to shift, reflecting back the certainty you now hold within. In a bustling marketplace, a woman named Penny stood behind her modest stall, her shoulders tense as she watched potential customers pass by. Each day she fought against her circumstances, against the slow trade, against the better positioned merchants, against her own growing frustration. The more she resisted her situation, the more firmly these challenges seemed to root themselves in her reality. When you wage war against what exists, you unknowingly feed it with your most precious resource, your attention. This universal principle reveals itself in every aspect of life. What you resist persists. Your opposition becomes a form of focus. And focus is the very fuel of manifestation. The power lies not in opposing what you dislike, but in redirecting your energy toward what you desire. Consider how water flows around obstacles, never fighting them, yet inevitably reaching its destination. This is the art of non-resistance, a practice as ancient as the mountains themselves. Someone named Walter, a wandering merchant, discovered this truth through his own journey. For years, he struggled against the seasonal nature of his trade, cursing the quiet months, exhausting himself with worry. One autumn, after hearing the words of a wise woman, he chose a different path. Instead of fighting the natural ebb and flow of commerce, he welcomed it. He used the quiet periods for preparation, reflection, planning. When others anxiously hoarded their goods, he shared freely, trusting in the cycle of abundance. As naturally as dawn follows night, his acceptance transformed his experience. Opportunities emerged effortlessly, as if they had been waiting for his resistance to subside. His relationships with fellow merchants softened, leading to profitable partnerships. The very seasons he once fought became his allies, each bringing its own form of prosperity. This simple truth extends beyond commerce into every corner of existence. When you cease struggling against what is, you free up the energy needed to create what can be. Acceptance becomes the bridge between your current reality and your desired destination. The practice of sacred surrender works like this. When tension arises and resistance beckons, pause. Find a quiet space where you can breathe deeply. Place your hand over your heart and speak these words with gentle authority. I bless what is to free what can be. Feel how this simple act of acceptance releases the grip of struggle, allowing pressure to dissolve into peace. Let this practice become your daily reminder that true power lies not in opposition, but in alignment with the flow of life itself. In the silent depths of an ancient garden, a woman named Sarah sat in meditation, her thoughts tangled with desires and wishes. She had spent years speaking her intentions to the universe, carefully choosing each word. Yet true manifestation remained elusive. Through countless dawns and dusks, she repeated her affirmations like sacred mantras. Until one morning, understanding broke through like sunlight through leaves. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, does not respond to words alone. It resonates with the pure vibration of your being. The crystalline clarity of your emotional state merged with the essence of your desire. When you speak to the universe, you communicate not through language, but through the frequency of your entire being. This truth echoes through ages. Your creative power lies not in perfect phrasing, but in perfect feeling. Each desire must be distilled to its purest form, stripped of anxiety and attachment. Think of how a flower grows. It contains within its seed the complete blueprint of its blossoming, yet it holds no tension about the timing or method of its flowering. To manifest with power, you must learn this language of essence. Feel the core of your desire, not its outer form, but its inner truth. Let your emotion infuse this essence with life while releasing all grip on the how and when. This delicate balance of clarity and surrender opens the channel through which the universe can respond most freely. Someone named Marvin discovered this truth during a period of financial strain. Initially, his mind buzzed with worries about specific amounts and deadlines. But one evening, he shifted his approach. Instead of clutching at detailed outcomes, he connected with the essence of what he sought. The feeling of abundance, the joy of generosity, the peace of sufficiency. He held this vibration with simple certainty, like holding a clear note in song. Within weeks, opportunities appeared, not always in the forms he had imagined, but perfectly aligned with his true needs. A forgotten investment matured. A new business partnership emerged. Resources flowed with unexpected ease. His intention, stripped of desperation and clothed in clarity, had become a pure instruction to the universal field. The ancient practice of sacred release works like this. Find a quiet moment as the sun sets. Take a clean sheet of paper and write your desire in present tense, infusing each word with the feeling of its fulfillment. Read it aloud once, allowing your voice to carry the vibration of absolute knowing. Then, with reverence, either burn the paper and watch the smoke carry your intention skyward, or fold it carefully and place it in a special place. This act symbolizes your trust in the universe's perfect outworking. You have planted the seed. Now allow divine timing to nurture its growth. Remember, the universe responds not to endless repetition, but to the clear signal of aligned energy. Speak once with purity, then release with trust. Your role is not to supervise the manifestation, but to maintain the frequency of its completion. In a small village among rolling hills, there lived a woman named Irene who carried shadows in her heart. Each morning, she would wake to count her troubles. Each evening, she would tally her disappointments. The weight of what she lacked pressed heavily upon her spirit until life itself seemed draped in gray. Then one morning, as sunlight filtered through her window, she noticed a small bird building its nest. Something stirred within her as she watched its patient work, and she found herself whispering, "Thank you for this moment." The words felt foreign on her tongue, yet somehow right. That evening, she wrote down 3 small things that had brought her joy: the bird's determination, the warmth of sunlight, the taste of fresh bread. Days passed and her list grew. With each blessing she acknowledged, life seemed to brighten, as though gratitude itself was a lamp illuminating previously unseen gifts. Her circumstances hadn't changed, yet everything felt different. The universe, it seemed, was responding to her shift in attention. You see, gratitude is not merely a sentiment, it is a force of creation. When you direct your attention toward what brings you joy, you emit a frequency that attracts more reasons for joy. This is the hidden mechanism behind abundance. What you appreciate appreciates. Consider someone named Calvin, a merchant who faced repeated setbacks in his trade. Rather than cursing his fate, he began to view each challenge as a divine gift wrapped in disguise. "This difficulty will teach me something valuable," he would say, even in the midst of apparent failure. His unwavering gratitude became a beacon, drawing opportunities that his previous mindset had repelled. As his perspective shifted, so did his reality. Where others saw obstacles, he recognized stepping stones. His confidence, rooted in gratitude, created a continuity of positive experiences. The universe, ever responsive to the frequency of thanks, began orchestrating events in his favor. This ancient truth reveals itself clearly. Gratitude is not a response to abundance. It is the very soil from which abundance grows. When you thank the universe in advance for what you desire, you demonstrate the ultimate faith. This faith combined with gratitude becomes an irresistible force of manifestation. The key lies not in the magnitude of what you appreciate, but in the authenticity of your thanks. Each genuine moment of gratitude sends ripples through the fabric of reality, aligning circumstances with your elevated vibration. Tonight, as the world quiets, practice this timeless ritual. Settle into stillness and whisper 3 thank yous. Not for what has been, but for what will be. Thank the universe for the abundance already on its way, for the doors about to open, for the blessings taking form. Feel the deep resonance of enoughness expand within you, stretching your horizons beyond what you previously thought possible. Let this practice become your nightly communion with the infinite. As you drift into sleep, carry this truth. Gratitude is not just the acknowledgement of gifts received. It is the magnetic force that draws tomorrow's blessings into today's reality. In a marketplace of ancient times, there lived a merchant named Ruth, who watched as fortune seemed to favor others while passing her by. Each day, her neighboring merchants prospered, while her own stall remained quiet. Until one morning, as she arranged her wares, wisdom whispered in her heart. Every outer circumstance spoke of an inner condition. The universe operates through an exquisite system of reflection, like a mirror that cannot help but show exactly what stands before it. Your outer world faithfully reproduces your inner state. This truth, known to sages throughout time, reveals that gratitude is not merely an attitude, but a force that shapes reality itself. When you express genuine appreciation, you activate a universal law as reliable as gravity. This law states that whatever you focus upon with sincere thankfulness multiplies in your experience. It is not enough to simply speak words of thanks. The feeling must resonate in your heart, creating ripples through the fabric of creation. In another village, a farmer named Elmer struggled with withering crops and mounting debts. Each morning, he would walk his fields, his mind heavy with worry and complaint. His harvests grew increasingly meager until he encountered an old woman who shared a simple truth. Your thoughts seed your fields as surely as any grain. Taking these words to heart, Elmer began speaking to his land with gratitude. "Thank you for your abundance," he would say, touching the soil with reverence. "Thank you for the blessing of each new day." Within one season, his fields flourished beyond measure. The law works with mathematical precision. What you appreciate appreciates. Gratitude is not a mere response to good fortune. It is the very soil from which good fortune springs. When you train your attention on what brings joy, you become a magnet for more joyful experiences. This ancient practice beckons you to recognize that everything you seek begins with thankfulness for what already exists. Each thank you uttered with sincerity becomes a seed planted in the fertile field of infinite possibility. Tonight, witness the day's greatest challenge and gently examine the thoughts that preceded it. Like a musician finding the right note, adjust your inner tone until it rings with appreciation. This simple act of conscious refinement will begin shifting the patterns of your experience. For the universe cannot help but mirror back the frequency you maintain. Part 2. Crafting Reality. In a village among rolling hills, someone named Faye lived as a weaver, though her true artistry emerged in moments between her work. While her hands moved through familiar motions at her loom, her mind wove intricate patterns of possibility. She noticed that weeks or months later, life would arrange itself to match these carefully crafted visions, as if her thoughts had been templates for reality itself. The law of correspondence reveals a truth both simple and vast. Your thoughts are not mere wisps of imagination. They are concentrated packets of creative energy. Each idea you hold consistently becomes a seed planted in the fertile soil of infinite possibility. Your mind does not generate idle fantasies. It produces precise blueprints that the universe faithfully constructs. Like an architect who first envisions a building before it rises from the ground, your consciousness designs the framework of your experiences. The outer world can only echo what resonates within. This is why masters of manifestation guard their thoughts with the same diligence a jeweler applies to precious gems. Someone named Herb, a merchant whose business teetered on collapse, discovered this principle through necessity. His marketplace stall had become a reflection of his scattered thoughts, cluttered, chaotic, failing to thrive. Understanding dawned when he realized his mind harbored the same disorder he saw before him. With patient dedication, he began arranging his thoughts as carefully as his wares. Visualizing harmony and abundance with the same precision he used to organize his inventory day by day, his inner clarity grew stronger. Soon his outer world began to shift, first subtly, then dramatically. Customers who once hurried past now stopped, attracted by an invisible sense of order. His transactions flowed smoothly. His supplies arrived at perfect intervals. His reputation for reliability spread through the market. The wisdom here transcends mere positive thinking. It speaks to the fundamental nature of reality. That form follows thought with mathematical precision. Your consciousness serves as the mold into which universal energy flows. The key lies not in forcing change, but in maintaining steady, clear patterns of thought until physical reality has no choice but to conform. The ancient practice works like this. Each morning before the world stirs, sit in stillness for 5 minutes. Envision pure light descending from above. Gathering your thoughts like threads of gold, watch as this light carries your visions into the fabric of reality. Express gratitude for this process, knowing that manifestation begins in these quiet moments of communion. Your thankfulness, offered before evidence appears, becomes the bridge between thought and form. This is not visualization alone. It is conscious participation in the creative force that shapes worlds. As you practice, you will witness the law of correspondence weaving your inner patterns into the tapestry of physical experience, proving that what you hold in mind must, by universal law, materialize in time. In the heart of an ancient town, someone named Ada tended her garden each morning, watching how plants responded to subtle changes in care. Over time, she recognized that her emotions operated with similar intelligence, not as disruptions to be conquered, but as messengers carrying vital wisdom. The universe speaks through the language of feeling. Each emotion that rises within you serves as an internal compass, orienting you toward or away from alignment with your highest path. Joy signals resonance with truth. Anxiety often masks excitement about unexplored potential. Even anger can illuminate where boundaries need strengthening or action needs taking. These feelings are not random disturbances to be suppressed or overcome. They are sophisticated instruments of guidance, as precise as any scientific tool. When you learn to interpret rather than judge them, emotions become allies in your journey of conscious creation. Consider the wisdom of someone named Bert, a merchant who spent years building walls against his inner knowing. He filled his days with constant motion, drowning out the whispers of discontent with endless activity. Yet the feelings persisted, growing stronger until they demanded attention through physical symptoms. Only when he finally paused to listen did he understand his heart had been trying to guide him toward authentic expression all along. The moment Bert honored his emotions as messengers rather than enemies, they revealed their purpose. His restlessness pointed toward unexplored talents. His frustration highlighted where he had compromised his values. As he began following this internal guidance system, his life rearranged itself with natural grace. Your emotions are not obstacles to manifestation. They are the very instruments through which the universe calibrates your path. Each feeling carries specific intelligence waiting to be translated into conscious understanding. When you resist an emotion, you miss its message. When you embrace it with curiosity, it becomes a doorway to deeper wisdom. The practice works like this. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and bring your attention to your body. Locate the strongest feeling present in this moment, whether it's tension in your shoulders, warmth in your chest, or heaviness in your stomach. Rest your awareness there and gently ask, "What are you trying to tell me?" Wait in patient silence for the answer to emerge. Listen not with your mind, but with your entire being. Honor whatever wisdom arises, knowing that your emotions are intelligent guides, leading you toward alignment with your highest good. In the bustling marketplace of a timeless city, there lived a merchant named Maggie who spent her days lost in endless calculations of what might come. Her mind constantly raced ahead, rehearsing countless scenarios, while life's precious moments slipped through her fingers like grains of sand. Each morning brought new worries about future trades. Each night found her exhausted from battles with phantoms that had not yet materialized. Your power to create resides eternally in the present moment. The past exists as memory, the future as imagination. But the point of power, the sacred intersection where thought transforms into manifestation, exists only in the eternal now. When you scatter your energy across imagined timelines, you dilute the very force that shapes reality. The universe responds not to what you plan to feel tomorrow, but to the vibration you embody in this breath. Each moment arrives complete, carrying within it all the power you will ever need. Your task is not to reach into tomorrow, but to fully inhabit the present, where the seeds of all possible futures take root. Consider how water flows through a river. It doesn't rush ahead of itself or hesitate about what lies downstream. It simply moves with perfect presence, finding its natural course moment by moment. This is the way of power. In the quiet hills beyond the city lived someone named Lionel, a shepherd who discovered this truth through necessity. His flock demanded constant attention to the present to current needs, immediate dangers, opportunities that arose without warning. As he learned to center his awareness in the now, he noticed something remarkable. Life began orchestrating itself with uncanny precision. The right buyers appeared at the perfect time. Weather patterns aligned with his needs. Solutions emerged effortlessly, not through planning, but through presence. What Lionel discovered was the secret of synchronicity. That magical alignment of circumstances that occurs when we step fully into the present moment. By releasing his grip on imagined futures, he allowed the natural intelligence of the universe to work through him, rather than being blocked by his anxious calculations. This truth extends to your own life. When you release the habit of mental time travel and root yourself in the present, you tap into the infinite potential that exists only in the now. This is not passive acceptance. This is dynamic engagement with the moment where all power resides. Practice this. Feel your feet planted firmly on the ground beneath you. Look around and name 5 details in your immediate environment. Perhaps the play of light on a surface, the texture of fabric against your skin, the subtle sounds that surround you. Take a deep, conscious breath and allow this instant to become your entire universe for one blessed minute. In this space of pure presence, you access the timeless point where all creation begins. In a village among ancient hills, someone named Evelyn tended her garden each day, hoping the seeds would sprout. She watered diligently, whispered encouragements, waited anxiously. Yet her garden remained barren, mirroring the tentative nature of her expectations. One morning, as dawn painted the sky, an old woman passed by and watched Evelyn's nervous hovering over empty soil. "You plant with your hands," the woman observed, "but doubt with your heart, the seeds feel your uncertainty." The universe responds not to what you wish for, but to what you know as truth. Hope is a subtle form of doubt, a beautiful way of holding yourself apart from what you desire. When you hope, you acknowledge the possibility of absence. When you know, you align with the frequency of fulfillment. Your thoughts and feelings create an energetic signature that the universe mirrors precisely. Hope creates waiting. Certainty creates having. This is not mere positive thinking. It is the practice of embodying completion before physical evidence appears. The gap between wanting and having closes only when you cross the bridge from "I wish" to "it is." Consider how you act when something is genuinely certain in your mind. When you know you can breathe, you don't hope for your next breath, you simply breathe. When you know the sun will rise, you don't wish for dawn, you simply prepare for day. This same certainty applied to your desires becomes the foundation of their manifestation. In a distant city, someone named Ned discovered this truth when seeking to establish his business. Initially, he hoped clients would come, checked his phone constantly, worried about survival. His breakthrough arrived when he shifted from hoping to knowing. He began speaking of his success as established fact. He arranged his schedule as though clients were already abundant. He treated his empty appointment book as temporary, with the same certainty that night would yield to morning. Within weeks, his reality reshaped itself to match his conviction. Clients appeared. Opportunities unfolded. What once seemed impossible became natural progression. The universe had not changed. Ned's energetic signature had. This ancient wisdom whispers still. The frequency of certainty outweighs the volume of hope. Your knowing is the mold into which universal energy flows when you replace "I want" with "I have." When you substitute "someday" with "now," you step into the creative current that transforms thought to form. Practice this. Sit in silence and identify one thing you've been hoping for. Feel the tentative energy of that hope. Now gently shift to knowing the same quiet certainty you feel about sunrise. Whenever you catch yourself wishing, softly replace it with "it is done" and act in quiet confidence. Let your very being resonate with completion rather than yearning. In the heart of a bustling marketplace, someone named Mag counted coins at her small textile stall when she noticed the time. 11:11. A smile tugged at her lips as she recalled seeing these same numbers on her morning tea receipt and again on a delivery invoice. Initially, she dismissed these recurring patterns as mere coincidence. Yet, as days passed, these numerical echoes multiplied, appearing on clocks, documents, and street signs with unmistakable persistence. The universe speaks through patterns, weaving messages into the fabric of everyday life. These synchronicities serve as bridges between the seen and unseen realms, offering guidance to those who learn to recognize their significance. Just as waves carry messages across vast oceans, reality ripples with meaningful coincidences that whisper of your alignment with universal flow. These patterns emerge not by chance, but through the precise orchestration of cosmic intelligence. Each synchronicity arrives as confirmation that you walk in harmony with larger forces. When you attune your awareness to these subtle signs, life transforms from a series of random events into an ongoing dialogue with the divine. Consider how someone named Otto, a skeptical merchant, began noticing butterflies appearing at crucial moments of decision. At first, he ignored these delicate messengers, but one afternoon, as he contemplated a significant business venture, a monarch butterfly landed directly on his ledger. Something within him softened, recognizing this as more than chance. He chose to trust this gentle guidance, leading to an unexpected partnership that transformed his enterprise. The key lies not in forcing meaning onto every occurrence, but in maintaining an open heart to life's subtle language. When you move in alignment with your highest path, reality responds with confirming signals, sometimes bold, often subtle, always perfectly timed. These signs arrive as breadcrumbs leading you home to your deepest truth, a song that answers your silent question, a book falling open to exactly the passage you needed, a chance encounter that shifts your entire trajectory. These are not accidents, but conversations with the infinite. The universe delights in playful communication with those willing to notice. Its language of synchronicity speaks through repeating numbers, animal messengers, timely coincidences, and those moments when inner knowing finds perfect external confirmation. Ancient practice works like this. Pause now and voice this simple request to the universe. Show me a sign that I'm on the right path. Release this request without attachment, then move through your day with gentle awareness. Notice what catches your attention, what patterns emerge, what coincidences arrive with perfect timing. The response may come as a number sequence, an overheard conversation, or a symbol that speaks directly to your heart. Trust that the universe's reply will arrive in a way your soul will recognize. Along a winding mountain path, someone named Lillian carried 2 water vessels, one in each hand. With every step, she shifted her weight back and forth, causing precious drops to spill, though she yearned to reach the summit spring. Her divided attention made the journey longer, harder, and less efficient. Within you lies a similar principle at work. When your thoughts pull in one direction, while your emotions flow in another and your actions follow yet a different course, you create resistance in the field of manifestation. Like Lillian's scattered approach, this internal division dilutes your creative power. The universe responds not to what you say you want, but to the sum total of your energetic broadcast. When thought, feeling, and deed align, they form a unified field of intention that the universe cannot help but answer. This is the law of coherence, the harmonious agreement of all parts of your being. Consider someone named Earl, a merchant who dreamed of prosperity while harboring deep fears of lack. Each morning, he recited affirmations of abundance. Yet throughout the day, his worried thoughts and cautious actions told a different story. His reality remained unchanged until he recognized this inner contradiction. The moment Earl aligned his thoughts of prosperity with genuine feelings of abundance and actions of generosity, his circumstances transformed. Like completing an electrical circuit, his unified field of intention allowed universal energy to flow unimpeded. Opportunities appeared, relationships flourished, resources multiplied. Not through force, but through alignment. What we've explored today barely scratches the surface of how coherence operates within the quantum field. If you're feeling this shift happening inside you, if something is awakening as you listen, you'll find the complete framework in my book, Beyond the Frequencies, a quantum guide to consciousness mastery. It walks you through the 9 master frequencies, the step-by-step practices for becoming the broadcast itself, and the deeper mechanics of moving from unconscious transmission to living as the field. It's linked in the pinned comment below. Think of coherence as an orchestra playing in perfect harmony. When your thoughts serve as the melody, your emotions as the harmony, and your actions as the rhythm, you create a symphony that the universe must dance to. This is not about perfection, but about consistency in your dominant vibration. The field of infinite possibility responds to clarity, not confusion. When you send mixed signals, wanting abundance while expecting lack, desiring health while focusing on illness, seeking love while guarding against hurt, you create interference patterns that cancel out your manifestations. To achieve coherence is to become like a laser beam, focused and unified in purpose. Rather than scattering your energy like diffused light, You concentrate your creative power into a single potent stream. This unified field becomes magnetic, drawing to you the very experiences that match your coherent vibration. Ancient practice works like this. Stand in a quiet space, feet planted firmly on the ground. Place one hand on your heart, the other extended palm up before you. With clear voice and unwavering conviction, speak these words. Everything in me agrees with my good. Feel the resonance of these words in your body. Notice how your breath deepens, how your shoulders relax, how your mind settles into peaceful certainty. This sensation of serenity is your internal compass, pointing toward coherence. Rest in this alignment, knowing it is the natural state of your being. In a quiet valley where echoes lingered unusually long, someone named Gladys tended her garden, muttering complaints about the stubborn soil. With each harsh word, she noticed the plants seemed to shrink away, their leaves curling inward as if wounded by her tone. For weeks, her harvest remained meager despite diligent care. Then one morning, watching dewdrops catch the sunrise, understanding dawned. She began speaking to her garden with the same tenderness she'd used to comfort a child. Within days, new growth emerged as if the very molecules of her plants had awakened to her changed vibration. Your words carry more than meaning. They pulse with creative force. Each syllable ripples through the quantum field, instructing energy to arrange itself according to your proclamation. When you speak, you literally weave patterns into the fabric of existence. These patterns become the blueprint for physical manifestation. The universe responds not to the dictionary definition of your words, but to their energetic signature. A statement tinged with doubt, though positive in content, cannot manifest as powerfully as a simple phrase spoken with absolute conviction. This is why empty affirmations often fail, while heartfelt declarations succeed. Someone named Milton discovered this truth during a particularly challenging period in his business. His habit of describing each day as difficult or overwhelming had created a self-fulfilling prophecy. Following an inner prompting, he began speaking of his work with genuine appreciation. Noting the opportunities hidden within each challenge, expressing gratitude for each client interaction. Within weeks, the very nature of his daily experience transformed. The same circumstances that once drained him now energized him. Clients who seemed demanding became collaborative projects that appeared overwhelming, resolved themselves with unexpected ease. Nothing in his external world had changed. Yet everything felt different because he had altered the vibration of his words. This was not mere positive thinking. Milton had tapped into a fundamental law of consciousness. Words are the bridge between thought and form. They crystallize intention into matter. Every word you speak is a seed planted in the field of infinite possibility. Your language creates corridors through which energy flows. Harsh words construct barriers. Loving words build bridges. Complaints cement limitations. Blessings expand possibilities. Each time you speak, you are literally programming the matrix of creation. Tonight, find a quiet space and speak these 3 sentences aloud, allowing yourself to fully feel their resonance. I am in perfect harmony with the flow of life. Every circumstance serves my highest good. I speak my world into beautiful being. Let each word vibrate through your body. Notice how your energy field expands with each declaration. Feel your frequency rising to match the truth you speak. This is not rehearsal. It is real-time creation. Take a moment right now and comment below with one word. Just one word that captures the frequency you're choosing to embody from this point forward. This isn't casual interaction. This is your energetic signature to the quantum field, your declaration of intent. Deep in the merchant quarter of an ancient city, someone named Hazel sat counting the day's meager earnings from her small textile shop. Through the window, she watched wealthy traders stride past, their silk robes catching the golden light of sunset. A familiar ache of unworthiness tightened her chest as she compared her simple cotton dress to their finery. Each night, she would whisper, "Why them and not me?" until those words became a prison of limitation. Yet the universe held no favorites. It merely mirrored her innermost convictions back to her with perfect accuracy. The law of abundance flows with mathematical precision. When you declare, "I am worthy," the universe cannot help but respond with corresponding circumstances. This is not wishful thinking, but rather the operation of an immutable principle. Your relationship with abundance determines its relationship with you. Consider how water fills any vessel completely, regardless of its shape or size. Abundance behaves similarly. It fills the container of your consciousness to whatever level you have prepared to receive. Your worth is not earned, but recognized. Not achieved, but remembered. The illusion of scarcity dissolves when you understand that abundance is not a quantity to be divided, but a frequency to be matched. Like a radio receiving a broadcast, you must tune yourself to wealth's wavelength through gratitude and expectation. Someone named Victor, a humble craftsman, discovered this truth after years of resenting others' prosperity. One day, watching a competitor's success, he chose differently. Instead of turning away in bitterness, he offered silent blessings for their achievement. "May their success multiply," he whispered, and felt something shift within a knot of lack unraveling into possibility. With each blessing given, Victor's own channel to abundance cleared. His consciousness expanded beyond personal limitation into universal flow. Orders increased. Opportunities emerged. Prosperity arrived not through striving, but through alignment. This law reveals that abundance is not personal, but universal. When you bless another's wealth, you acknowledge the infinite nature of prosperity. This recognition attunes you to abundance's frequency, allowing it to flow through you as naturally as breath. The secret lies in understanding that abundance knows no separation. Each person's prosperity adds to the collective field of wealth, just as every lit candle increases the room's illumination without diminishing any other flame. To practice this truth, whenever you encounter prosperity in others, whether displayed in homes, cars, or achievements, let your first response be blessing rather than comparison. Transform "why them" into "through them." Feel how this shift liberates your energy from the confines of scarcity into the boundless realm of possibility. Tonight, find a quiet moment. As you observe evidence of abundance around you, whisper, "I bless and am blessed by all prosperity." Feel how this declaration aligns you with wealth's eternal flow, opening channels for your own good to arrive. Sacred practice works like this. Whenever envy appears, bless the object or person silently, transforming comparison into participation. Let each blessing be a key that unlocks your own abundant nature. In a bustling marketplace, someone named Ruby paced anxiously between stalls, her eyes darting constantly to the sun's position. Like many, she believed time was a rigid master to be fought against. Each morning began with a desperate race, her breath shallow as she attempted to compress endless tasks into unyielding hours. The universe operates through a more subtle mechanism. Time in its deepest nature responds to consciousness rather than force. It expands or contracts according to your inner state, moving in perfect harmony with your level of awareness. When fear grips your thoughts, minutes seem to vanish like water through clenched fingers. Yet in moments of pure presence, time becomes as elastic as the space between thoughts. Your perception creates the quality of time's flow. Those who chase the clock find themselves forever in its shadow, while those who rest in timeless awareness discover that events arrange themselves with effortless grace. The hands of time bow to the power of focused consciousness. This truth revealed itself to someone named Clyde during a period of overwhelming deadlines. For weeks, he had pushed against time's current, growing more exhausted with each passing day. Then, in a moment of surrender, he discovered something remarkable. As he released his grip on time, letting go of the constant mental countdown, tasks that once demanded hours began flowing to completion in elegant sequence. The shift was subtle, yet profound. Rather than forcing his way through each moment, Clyde learned to move in harmony with time's natural rhythm. His efficiency doubled not through increased effort, but through decreased resistance. Projects that once loomed like mountains became mere stepping stones along a peaceful path. This transformation speaks to a fundamental law. Time is consciousness made visible. It neither restricts nor limits. It simply reflects your relationship with the eternal now. When you trust in the sufficiency of each moment, time becomes your ally rather than your adversary. The teaching speaks clearly. Efficiency flows from alignment, not acceleration. Those who master this principle find themselves accomplishing more while doing less, their actions guided by intuitive timing rather than external pressure. Ancient practice works like this. Before beginning any task, pause and center yourself with these words. I have all the time needed. Feel the truth of this statement in your body. Notice how your shoulders relax, your breath deepens, a sense of spaciousness opens within. From this place of calm assurance, let your actions flow naturally, knowing that time bends to serve the focused mind. In the quiet depths of an ancient garden, a merchant named Viola stood before her struggling business, shoulders tense with the weight of control. Each morning she crafted elaborate plans, believing that tighter grip would yield better outcomes. Yet the more she clutched at circumstances, the more they slipped like sand through her fingers. The universal law whispers a truth as old as time itself. Power flows not through force, but through alignment. When you release your iron grip on outcomes, you tap into a wisdom far greater than personal will. This surrender is not weakness. It is the ultimate strength, for it connects you to the infinite intelligence that orchestrates galaxies. Think of water. It does not fight the rock, yet over time shapes mountains. It does not resist the path before it, but flows around obstacles with graceful efficiency. This is the way of true power. Your plans, no matter how carefully crafted, pale before the magnificent design already in motion. Someone named Henry, a painter, discovered this truth when his prized commission seemed to crumble. Rather than forcing his vision, he paused and listened to the quiet nudges of inspiration as he surrendered his rigid expectations. Remarkable alternatives emerged. His canvas transformed into something far more extraordinary than his original concept. Clients marveled at the depth that seemed to flow through his brush. This is the paradox of surrender. In releasing control, you gain access to a power beyond measure. The universe operates through perfect patterns, each moment unfolding according to a divine blueprint. Your role is not to direct this cosmic dance, but to align with its rhythm. When you cease struggling against what is, energy once spent in resistance becomes fuel for creation. Doors you never noticed swing open. Resources appear as if summoned by an unseen hand. This is not coincidence, but the natural result of aligning with universal flow. Trust that the greater pattern includes your highest good. Your dreams are seeds planted in fertile soil. They do not require your anxious watching to grow. They simply ask for your trust in the process that turns tiny seeds into towering trees. Before you rest tonight, let your breath carry away all worry. In the sacred silence between thoughts, whisper softly, "Thy pattern is perfect, and I rest in it." Feel the profound peace that comes with releasing the need to control and watch as life responds with unexpected grace. Part 3. Unstoppable Mastery. In a quiet village among ancient hills, someone named Florence understood the ways of manifestation. Each morning, she would rise with the sun, light a single candle, and commune with the infinite intelligence that orchestrates all life. Through this practice, her desires flowed into form with graceful ease until the day she allowed distraction to fragment her focus. The universe operates through unwavering principles, as constant as the rising sun. When your attention scatters like leaves in autumn winds, so too do your manifestations disperse. This is not punishment, but perfect law. For energy flows where attention goes, and divided attention creates divided results. Think of the sun's rays through a magnifying glass. Scattered light may warm, but focused light ignites. So it is with the power of your consciousness. The difference between occasional success and masterful creation lies not in knowledge, but in devotion to practice. Each master across time has known this truth. It is not the grandness of your ritual that matters, but its steadfast repetition. A daily drop of water can carve stone not through force, but through faithful persistence. Your consciousness shapes reality in the same way, through patient, steady application. When someone named Norman discovered this principle, he chose a simple practice: greeting each dawn with gratitude regardless of circumstance. Days turned to weeks, weeks to months, and slowly his reality transformed, not through dramatic gestures or complex ceremonies, but through the quiet power of consistency. His story teaches us that mastery comes not from sporadic bursts of effort, but from the gentle persistence of daily practice. Like a garden tended each morning, your consciousness requires regular cultivation. The most potent magic lies not in grand gestures, but in small actions maintained with unwavering devotion. The Ancient Ones knew power accumulates through repetition. Each time you maintain a chosen vibration, you deepen its groove in consciousness. This is how belief transforms into knowing, through faithful rehearsal, until it becomes as natural as breathing. Practice this. Choose one spiritual practice that resonates with your soul. Perhaps a morning meditation, a gratitude ritual, or a moment of conscious blessing. Commit to maintaining this practice for 7 consecutive days at the same time each day. Watch how this steadiness begins to anchor your power, transforming fleeting faith into unshakable certainty. Through this devoted repetition, you forge a bridge between intention and manifestation. In the early hours before dawn, someone named Agnes stood at her window, gazing into the darkness. Though her eyes could not pierce the veil of night, her heart perceived the garden's contours, the path she walked each day, the flowers that would soon reveal their colors. In that moment, she understood. Faith was not blind hope, but a deeper way of seeing. The invisible precedes the visible in all creation. Just as a seed contains the blueprint of a mighty oak, your consciousness holds the template of tomorrow's manifestations. Faith is not mere belief, but the soul's capacity to recognize what exists in potential before it emerges in form. It is the eye of spirit perceiving the real before physical senses confirm its presence. When you align with this truth, you understand that what you seek already exists in the quantum field of all possibilities. Your role is not to create from nothing, but to draw forth from the infinite what already awaits expression. This is why masters throughout time have taught, "Before they call, I will answer." Someone named Felix discovered this principle during a period of apparent emptiness. Rather than dwelling in doubt, he chose to trust the whispers of his inner knowing. Each morning, he would acknowledge the presence of his desires as though they already existed in form. He spoke to opportunities not yet visible, thanked for resources not yet tangible, and moved through his days with the quiet certainty of one who sees beyond physical sight. Within weeks, the invisible became visible. Doors opened that he hadn't known existed. Resources appeared from unexpected sources. People arrived carrying the very connections he had envisioned. His experience proved that faith is not a force that bends reality, but a sense that perceives reality's deeper currents. This law operates with mathematical precision. What you hold in faithful vision must materialize in physical form. It is not a question of if, but when the universe honors faith, because faith honors the universe's fundamental nature, that all things exist first in consciousness, before appearing in circumstance. Ancient teaching practice works like this. Choose a single heart's desire and find a quiet moment. Close your physical eyes and open your spirit's sight. Say softly to yourself, "I already met this in the unseen." Let your entire being relax into the knowing that what you seek already exists. Carry this quiet certainty through your day, watching how reality begins to conform to your inner vision. If what you're experiencing here resonates with something deep inside you, if you feel yourself remembering rather than learning, then I invite you to subscribe, not just to stay connected, but to stay coherent, to stay aligned with this frequency. Because the more of us who embody this truth, the more the world reflects that truth back to us. We are not separate observers. We are the collective field of consciousness, shaping reality together. In the heart of an ancient village, someone named Elsie spent her days weaving tapestries of dreams in her mind. While others mocked her vivid musings as mere fantasy, she discovered a profound truth. The imagination serves as the sacred workshop where reality first takes shape. Your imagination is not an escape from reality, but rather the molding room where future circumstances are first cast. When you close your eyes and paint detailed pictures in your mind, you are not daydreaming. You are drafting blueprints for the universe to follow. The boundary between imagination and manifestation is far thinner than most realize. The power lies in understanding that your inner vision provides the template that energy follows. Just as an architect must first envision a building before it can rise from the ground, your imagination sketches the outline of coming experiences. This is not wishful thinking, but rather the first step in the natural sequence of creation. Someone named Grant, a humble craftsman, discovered this principle when facing what seemed an impossible commission. Rather than dwelling on limitations, he began to see himself completing the work with ease. Each evening, he would sit quietly, feeling the texture of his materials, hearing the sounds of his tools, experiencing the satisfaction of perfect execution. Within weeks, his hands began moving with unexpected skill, as though they remembered what his mind had already accomplished. His experience reveals the hidden mechanics of manifestation. What is vividly imagined with feeling becomes a magnetic force drawing its physical counterpart into being. The key lies not in forcing or striving, but in creating such clear inner patterns that outer circumstances naturally conform. Your imagination operates as a tuning fork, setting the frequency that reality must match. When you maintain crystal-clear pictures infused with positive emotion, you create a template so precise that the universe can respond with nothing less than its exact reflection. Sacred practice works like this. Find a quiet moment as day turns to dusk. Close your eyes and select one cherished desire. Build it in your mind with exquisite detail. See its colors, feel its textures, hear its sounds, taste its sweetness. Let the scene become so real that joy naturally rises in your chest. Hold this vivid picture until your whole being tingles with its presence. Then, with a gentle exhale, release it completely to the invisible forces that transform thought to form trust, that what you have imagined with such clarity is already moving toward you through channels you need not direct. A merchant named Myrtle once carried a heavy sack of judgments everywhere she traveled. Each criticism, each harsh thought about others and herself added another stone to her burden. Though she believed her sharp assessments kept her safe and successful, they actually anchored her to the very circumstances she wished to transcend. For years, she wondered why certain patterns in her life refused to shift, despite her best efforts to push them away. Then one morning, as she watched the sun transform the morning frost into glistening dew, wisdom dawned. Just as the sun's warmth transmuted ice to water, perhaps acceptance could dissolve what resistance made rigid. Through your earthly journey, you have discovered that what you resist persists. This universal principle operates with mathematical precision. Judgment freezes energy into form, while blessing sets it free to realign. When you stand in opposition to any person, circumstance, or aspect of yourself, you unknowingly feed it with the very force needed for its continuation. The power to transmute lies not in force, but in love's gentle acceptance. This is not passive resignation, but rather the higher wisdom that understands all experiences as stepping stones to awakening. What you judge, you energize. What you bless, you release. A wandering sage named Leon carried the weight of his past mistakes until they bent his shoulders. Each memory of failure or regret became a ghost that haunted his steps. But in learning to extend compassion to his younger self, something miraculous occurred. The very experiences he had condemned began transforming into pillars of strength. His past struggles became the foundation of wisdom that now guided others through similar valleys. This transformation reveals the sacred alchemy at work in the universe. Nothing is ever wasted when viewed through eyes of love. Your deepest wounds, once blessed, become wellsprings of healing. Your greatest challenges, once embraced, reveal themselves as disguised opportunities for growth. The key lies in shifting from the energy of judgment to the frequency of blessing. This is not about denying or suppressing what is, but rather about transmuting it through the power of acceptance. When you cease fighting what was or what is, you free that energy to reorganize itself in harmony with your highest good. As you sit in the silence of this moment, bring to mind one regret that still carries a sting. Rather than pushing it away or drowning it in guilt, cradle it in compassion. Breathe deeply and send waves of acceptance to that younger version of yourself who did the best they could with the awareness they had at the time. Feel how this gentle acknowledgement begins to dissolve the frozen energy of the past, transforming old pain into new wisdom. Watch as judgment's hard edges soften in the warmth of your blessing. This is the alchemy of acceptance, the sacred science that turns lead into gold, transmuting all it touches through love's patient light. The essence of transformation lies not in force, but in the gentle power of acceptance. When you resist what is, you create tension that holds unwanted patterns in place. This universal law reveals itself through countless stories across time. Yet its truth remains unchanged. In a village by the mountains lived someone named Ivy, a woman who carried the weight of past hurts like heavy chains. Each morning, she would wake to replay memories of betrayal. Each evening, she would drift to sleep, rehearsing ancient wounds. Her resentment became a lens through which she viewed all of life, coloring every new experience with the shadows of old pain. The universe operates through an elegant principle. Energy flows where attention goes. When you hold on to grievances, you unknowingly direct your creative force into maintaining those very patterns you wish to dissolve. Your emotional energy becomes locked in a loop of remembering rather than creating. Forgiveness is not about condoning what happened. It is about freeing yourself from the energetic bonds that keep you tethered to those events. It is a gift you give yourself, a key that unlocks the prison of the past. Someone named Ralph, a carpenter who had lost everything through another's deception, discovered this truth through an unexpected insight. For years, he had gripped his anger like a shield, believing it protected him from further harm. But one day, while crafting a piece of furniture, he noticed how his clenched muscles prevented the smooth flow of his movements. In that moment, he realized his blame had become a barrier to his own artistry. As he consciously released his grip on resentment, something remarkable occurred. His hands moved with new grace, his work flowed with renewed inspiration, and opportunities began appearing as if by magic. The energy he had spent maintaining his grievance was now free to create beauty. This alchemical process of acceptance transforms the lead of resentment into the gold of wisdom. Each act of forgiveness releases bound energy back into the stream of creation. Your power lies not in holding on, but in letting go. The practice works like this. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and bring to mind any grievance you've been carrying. Visualize this hurt as a tangible object in your hands. Now imagine pure golden light surrounding you. Extend your hands and offer your grievance to this light, saying softly, "I reclaim my energy." Feel the subtle but profound shift as the burden lifts and vital force returns to your being. Let the infinite breathe through you, replacing what was with what can be. In the quiet dawn, someone named Pearl sat exhausted at her window, watching the sun paint gold across the horizon. Though successful in her endeavors, a persistent weariness had settled into her bones. Like many before her, she had yet to master the ancient art of energetic sovereignty. The wisdom of the ages speaks of an invisible field that surrounds each being, a sacred territory where consciousness meets creation. This field, as real as the air you breathe, responds to every thought, emotion, and interaction. It is the space where manifestation begins, where intention takes root before blossoming into physical form. Your energy field is not merely a concept, but a living garden requiring careful tending. When you allow it to become cluttered with others' demands, doubts, and discord, your creative power diminishes like a lamp whose light grows dim when its oil runs low. Your ability to manifest becomes weakened when your field is depleted. Someone named Owen, a teacher of ancient wisdom, discovered this truth through necessity. His desire to help others had left him spiritually malnourished until he learned the art of energetic discernment. He began to observe how certain environments, conversations, and activities either enhanced or diminished his vital force. With growing awareness, he started choosing consciously. Spending time in nature, maintaining periods of silence, honoring his need for solitude. As his energy boundaries strengthened, so did his intuitive clarity. Guidance flowed more readily, opportunities aligned more precisely, and his impact paradoxically increased, though he did less. His example illuminates a fundamental truth. Maintaining clear energy boundaries is not selfish, but essential for serving your highest purpose. Your field is a sacred temple deserving of protection and reverence. Each time you say no to energy-depleting situations, you say yes to your own power. Each moment you spend in nature's embrace or in quiet contemplation cleanses and strengthens this invisible yet vital aspect of your being. The practice works like this. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Sit comfortably with your spine straight and your feet planted firmly on the ground. Begin a gentle breathing rhythm. As you inhale, visualize pure golden light filling your entire being. As you exhale, see gray haze leaving your field, carrying away all stagnant or foreign energy. Continue this cleansing breath until you feel a distinct shift from fatigue to freshness. Let each breath renew your commitment to energetic sovereignty. A merchant wandered the marketplace, her steps weary with the weight of constant negotiation and competition. Each transaction felt like a battle, each interaction a careful dance of separation and self-protection. Until one morning, as sunlight streamed through the market's canvas coverings, something within her shifted. Through the haze of morning light, someone named Daisy began seeing not strangers, but mirrors, each face reflecting back aspects of herself. The gruff supplier harbored the same fears of scarcity she knew so well. The hurried customer carried familiar anxieties about time. The rival merchant across the way shared her dreams of prosperity. In this eternal dance of life, separation is but an illusion, a temporary forgetting of our deeper unity. Every being you encounter is consciousness exploring itself through different forms. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, orchestrates a grand play where all roles are played by one actor in countless costumes. This teaching emerges from the depths of ancient wisdom. Everything you experience is self-interacting with self. Your outer world mirrors your inner landscape with perfect precision. When you judge another, you judge a part of yourself. When you love another, you love yourself more completely. Someone named Harold discovered this truth during a challenging encounter. Rather than reacting with his usual defensiveness, he chose to see himself in the other person's position. In that moment of empathy, the entire situation transformed. Doors that seemed firmly closed suddenly opened. Resources appeared from unexpected sources. The very fabric of reality seemed to conspire in his favor. His story reminds us that synchronicity flows most powerfully when we recognize our fundamental unity. When we drop the illusion of separation, Life's orchestra plays in perfect harmony, resistance dissolves. Cooperation emerges naturally, and creation responds with graceful precision. The geometry of existence is love, not as an emotion, but as the underlying force that connects all points in the cosmic web. Like a hologram, each fragment contains the whole. Every interaction becomes sacred when viewed through this lens of unity consciousness. Your path to mastery lies in remembering this truth. There is no other to resist, compete with, or fear. All is you expressing through infinite variations as you move through your days. Silently greet each person with the recognition, you are another me. Watch as rigid boundaries soften into warm understanding. Feel how this simple practice dissolves the illusion of separation, revealing the golden thread that connects all hearts in the tapestry of being. Practice this. When encountering others throughout your day, silently acknowledge them with the phrase, "You are another me." Feel boundaries dissolve into warmth as you recognize the shared consciousness behind all forms. Notice how this recognition transforms your interactions and invites synchronicity into your experience. In the heart of an ancient city, someone named Lahi ran from temple to temple seeking wisdom from every sage and scholar. She collected prophecies like precious gems, hoping one would reveal her destined path, yet with each new directive, her spirit grew heavier, burdened by the weight of others' expectations. Your purpose is not a distant shore to reach, but the very water you swim in. It flows through every moment, whispering in the language of ease. When you cease struggling against the current of life, you discover that purpose has been carrying you all along. The universe speaks through resonance, those activities that light your spirit, that make hours vanish like morning mist. These are not distractions from your purpose, but signposts pointing toward it. When you align with what brings you alive, you tap into the natural rhythm of creation. Someone named Gordon, a gifted painter, abandoned his art for years, pursuing what others deemed practical. He built a life of achievement, yet felt hollow inside one day, watching sunlight play across his office wall. He retrieved his long-forgotten brushes. As colors flowed from his hands, time dissolved. In following this thread of joy, his true work emerged not just in painting, but in awakening creativity in others. Your purpose is not a role to play or a mountain to climb. It is the unique way you allow universal energy to express through you. When you release the need to force meaning onto life, meaning finds you. Your presence becomes your purpose. The wisdom traditions teach that purpose reveals itself in moments of flow, when action becomes effortless and time loses its hold. These moments arrive not through striving, but through surrendering to what moves naturally through you. You need not chase destiny. It lives in your breath, in your heartbeat, in the way certain activities make your spirit dance. Your purpose is not waiting to be discovered, it is waiting to be remembered. It speaks in the language of ease in moments when doing aligns perfectly with being. Ancient practice works like this. Throughout this day, notice what activities make time disappear. What brings you alive? What flows without effort? Do not analyze or judge. Simply observe where life moves through you most freely. In these moments of natural grace, purpose is already present, speaking in the timeless language of joy. Your purpose reveals itself not through striving, but through surrender to what already flows through you. Like water finding its natural course, your deepest calling moves with effortless grace when you release resistance. In the silence between thoughts, truth emerges. You are not here to chase purpose, but to embody it. Every breath draws you closer to this knowing. The universe conspires to guide you, speaking through joy, ease, and the quiet certainty that arises when you align with your authentic nature. Someone named Maud spent years seeking validation from external sources until she realized the power had always resided within. She stopped asking permission to be who she was meant to be. In that sacred moment of claiming her authority, the world began responding differently. Not because it had changed, but because she had. When you step into creator consciousness, life ceases to be a series of events happening to you and becomes a canvas responding to your brushstrokes. This is not about controlling outcomes, but about accepting your role as an active participant in reality's unfolding dance. Someone named Stanley discovered this truth through an unexpected avenue: gratitude. Each morning, he began thanking the universe for experiences that hadn't yet manifested. Rather than waiting for good fortune to spark gratitude, his gratitude became the spark that ignited fortune. His appreciation preceded manifestation, creating a field of receptivity that drew circumstances into alignment with his vision. The key understanding here transcends mere positive thinking. You are not merely influencing reality. You are the point from which reality emerges. Your consciousness is the foundation upon which experience builds itself. This is not about wielding power over life, but accepting responsibility for your creative partnership with it. As you embrace this truth, resistance dissolves. No longer do you need to force, struggle, or prove your worth. Your presence itself is the catalyst for creation. Like a flower turning naturally towards sunlight, your being automatically orients toward growth and expression. Ancient practice of presence works like this. With each dawn, stand in quiet dignity and declare with gentle authority, "I cause my reality through my presence." Let these words resonate not as an affirmation to be proven, but as a truth being remembered. Notice how this authority settles in your body, not as tension, but as profound calm. The serenity of one who knows their place in the cosmic dance. In the depths of a mountain valley, someone named Belle sat in quiet contemplation as storm clouds gathered overhead. Rather than seeking shelter, she remained still, watching nature's display with peaceful acceptance. Lightning illuminated the sky, yet she felt no fear, only reverence for the raw power before her. In that moment, she understood that true strength lies not in resisting life's storms, but in finding stillness within them. You too possess this innate capacity for unwavering presence. When you align with the universal flow, obstacles become opportunities for deeper awakening. This is the essence of being unstoppable, not through force or struggle, but through inner harmony that transcends circumstance. Your journey through these teachings has prepared you for this ultimate truth. Mastery emerges when you recognize yourself as the eye of every storm. Like Belle, you learn to stand unmoved while circumstances swirl around you. This is not detachment, but profound engagement with life from a place of centered awareness. Someone named Ernest discovered this truth during a period of intense challenge. Rather than fighting against mounting pressures, he chose to cultivate what he called still joy, a steady inner light that burned regardless of external conditions. As difficulties arose, he met them with the same serene attention he gave to life's pleasures. Soon he noticed that problems which once seemed insurmountable began dissolving of their own accord. This is the secret of becoming unstoppable. You transcend the need to control outcomes by embodying unshakable presence. Your power lies not in avoiding falls, but in falling awake. Conscious even in moments of apparent defeat, each challenge becomes a doorway to deeper awareness. Each setback an invitation to fuller awakening. When you merge awareness, emotion, belief, and surrender into one unified field of consciousness, you discover that strength and softness are not opposites, but allies. Like water, you learn to flow around obstacles while maintaining your essential nature. This is mastery not as a destination, but as a continuous unfolding of your infinite potential. Practice this. Each night as you prepare for sleep, place your hand upon your heart. Breathe deeply, allowing appreciation to flow through your entire being. Feel the steady rhythm of life pulsing within you. Then, with quiet authority, declare, "I am the calm power designing tomorrow." Let these words resonate in every cell of your body. Settle into sleep as though you are the universe resting inside itself, knowing that even in stillness, you are creating. If these principles are shifting something fundamental within you, consider watching this again tomorrow morning. Let it set the frequency for your day. And if someone in your life is ready for this understanding, share this with them. That act of sharing creates an energetic ripple. It reinforces your own embodiment of these truths while planting seeds in the collective field. What you transmit, you amplify within yourself. Through these teachings, ancient wisdom has revealed itself not as distant theory, but as the very substance of your being. Like water remembering its fluidity after winter's freeze, you now recognize these principles as your natural state. The mirror that once seemed to separate you from creation has dissolved. No longer do you see manifestation as something happening to you or through you. You are the manifestation itself, expressing in endless forms. The teachings that felt like foreign concepts when this journey began now flow as your native tongue, as natural as breathing. You understand now that the field of infinite possibility moves only as you move within it. It's not about pushing against life or forcing outcomes. It's about the subtle art of allowing your inner state to paint reality's canvas. That power you once sought in distant realms beats steadily in your own chest, as it always has. To be unstoppable isn't to become an unstoppable force. Rather, it's to flow in perfect harmony with what you truly are. Consciousness expressing itself through form, each moment offers a fresh choice. Clarity over fear, presence over reaction, gratitude over hurry. These aren't strategies anymore. They're simply the natural expressions of your awakened awareness. Every act of conscious choice sends ripples through the field of creation, harmonizing reality with your deepest truth. This isn't the end of a journey, but a reminder that reality is your ongoing artwork, forever responsive to love, attention, and trust. The secret you've been seeking was never hidden in ancient texts or distant stars. It lives in your next thought, sincerely felt. Let your consciousness remain luminous, deliberate, and endlessly creative. The field awaits only your word, your feeling, your knowing. And as it has since time began, it will always say yes. Here you stand, not at an ending, but at the threshold of endless beginning. The power you sought was always within, waiting for recognition. Now you know. You are the unstoppable force you were seeking all along. Drop one word in the comments below. One word that captures the energy you're choosing from this moment forward. Your intention, your frequency, your commitment to what you're becoming. This is your energetic signature to the quantum field. Make it count. And if you're ready to stay coherent with this frequency, to continue this conversation beyond this moment, subscribe. Not just to stay connected, but to stay aligned, because the more of us who embody these truths, the more powerfully they ripple through the collective field. We're not separate. We're creating this reality together, one conscious choice at a time. The unstoppable version of you is not something you become. It's something you remember. And that remembering starts now. But here's what most people miss about becoming unstoppable. It's not just about internal alignment. It's about understanding how reality responds to frequency, not force. In my next video, I break down exactly why money responds to frequency, not effort. You'll discover the specific vibrational signature that wealth recognizes and how to embody it naturally. This shifts everything about how you relate to abundance. Watch it next.